Hey everyone, my name is Sammy, and welcome back to my Stream Theory playthrough of Assassin's Creed 4, where I will play the game live while also providing analysis and commentary of the game as I go. So, I think I'm just going to go right into the next mission here, since they're all happening really quickly, very close to each other, which is fairly unusual for this game because many of the missions have been far apart. They've been, across the map. I think one of my complaints about the game's missions, at least up until this point, has been that they have been so far apart that it would take quite a long time to reach them. And that's okay towards the beginning of the game because that would encourage you to explore much of the map in between if you are planning to sail from place to place. However, there were some moments where you were sailing through familiar areas, going back and forth, for example. So like going back to Nassau. I think we returned back to Nassau at least twice in the game. After we visited it initially, we went back to it twice, so this is the second time we've come back to Nassau, I think. In any case, yeah, treading back through this familiar territory just made the travel time a little tedious, just because we've already seen the majority of the things in this map, so there's nothing left to explore. So there's no reason for these missions to be so far apart. Now, recently, the plot of the story has been shifting. New stuff has been happening. New events have been occurring, and it looks like we have a new direct antagonist. I'm not sure if he's going to be the main antagonist, but he's at least a short-term antagonist for the game right now. I think his name is Woods Rogers or something. He's now the governor, or he assumed governorship of Nassau in the name of the King George of England, who is trying to deal with piracy. He gave, I learned most of this from just watching my archive. I really couldn't keep track of most of this stuff while I was in the moment, but watching the archive, I could piece together much clearer detail about what was going on. So King George is offering something called the King's Pardon to the pirates here. Whereas if you turn yourselves in, surrender, you will be pardoned for your piracy in the past. You just have to stop, pirating. You have to submit to the authority of the king, become a citizen. And if you don't, you'll be tried for your crimes. So now, Kenway said in the last part that he's going to just abandon Nassau. He's considering it lost. So this is his plan to get out of Nassau now. He is going to try and blow past the blockade. So let's get right into this mission and into that plan of his.
Come on, boys, you're lagging.
It's this bloody hemp.
Lieutenant! Aye, sir. The Commodore fears a revolt is nigh. His orders are to sink every goddamn pirate ship now anchored in that harbor, tonight.
It's by the governor's wishes, sir.
This is a direct order, soldier. You will take position on the grounded galleon and await the Commodore's further orders. Is that clear?
Aye, sir.
The conniving bastard. Someone ought to slit the Commodore's throat before he gets a chance to bar those orders.
You think so?
We're dead in the water otherwise.
All right, I'll kill him. Your brains are baked. I won't take no part in killing the Commodore. Not one of the King's men.
We can't risk our good fortune. I'll be waiting for you.
Okay, looks like a little twist in the plan here. It's gonna be difficult to carry it out without any ships. So we're gonna have to get rid of this guy. Alright, kill guards from stalking zones. See, this is a really natural optional quest. Seems fairly obvious. Because I was able to actually carry out the optional objective just by doing what I would normally want to do. Which is, you know, take the guy out from the stalking zone. I think that's what the best... The best, the best optional objectives are the ones that, you know, seamlessly integrate into the mission, it seems. Wait, what's going on? I'm not in a restricted zone. Why am I being attacked here? I saw clearly in the map I was not in the red circle, the restricted area, so I don't know why I was being targeted there. So I don't know. Alright. My mistake here was not hiring these courtesans to actually carry out this mission. Instead taking to the rooftops. I think the deal with these courtesans is that even the developers know that these tailing missions can get a little tedious to carry out, so they're just throwing us a bone. Like, all right, here's the easy way. Like, we know these tailing missions can get a little much. Oh boy. So now what? Yeah, that time I was definitely in the restricted area. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. Because the courtesan strategy is not going to be a good long-term one, at least. It'll get me through this initial area, but you know, and it won't be a permanent solution. At least that's one balance to the courtesans, is that they aren't a permanent solution. They, in order to distract the guards, they have to stay behind. So you have to up until this next hill there, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get past. If there's any like back way, maybe that way. Alright, I think I'll have to distract these guys here, or maybe not. I see him there. If I just go this way, I think I'll be okay.
I heard the Commodore ranting and raving about Woods Rogers, calling him a heathen and whatnot. What's happened to
Alright, so thinking about it a little bit more carefully, I was able to pass through that, so maybe I spoke too soon. It's not as easy as just hiring the courtesans anymore. That when there are a lot of guards, adds a little bit more difficulty. Stretches out the courtesan, you know, strategy a little bit more thinly. You have to be a little more careful. Okay. I'm gonna bet there's gonna be a second wave of guards that I'll have to pass through. In any case, I think the courtesans still make this a little bit more easier, or more easy, and that it is still a recognition from the developers that, oh well, these tailing missions, we know we rely on them a little bit too much. We're just gonna make it slightly more easy for you guys. Alright, now I don't have any more courtesans. Oh, wait a second, I still have to do the stalking zone mission thing.
You there, stop! You there, stop!
Wait a second. I saw the guy, I don't know. All fell apart when I went back there, but should have, almost forgot about the optional objectives. If I was keeping on top of that, I think I would have been a lot better off. Yeah, that was definitely my fault. Again, it's just like these. There's such a narrow path for these tailing missions that it just never feels like your game over was any sort of like meaningful loss, if you know what I mean. Alright, there's my optional objective. It always feels like you just... No, wait a second, come on now. Now, at least that's not a game over. Okay, so yeah, that was a game over from getting too far away, but not by being discovered. That's what happened there. Okay, so the stalking zones, thankfully, helping out quite a bit. Have to get there, falling behind. Yeah, okay, I can manage it. There we go. Much better. Air assassinate now. So he's over there, actually. And following the guy to his ship. Actually, I think I have to go down there. Seems like the most obvious plan. I mean, you can kind of read the environment here. Glad that we're not doing the tailing mission anymore. Now, as far as tailing missions go, the added difficulty there made it a little bit better. Had to be more conscious, and you can see that how I'm not paying attention. You know, I was directly had to deal with some consequences for that. I was underestimating these tailing missions, and I paid for it. Then again, also highlights the problems of stealth. Is that your line or your path between, you know, success and failure is just so thin, razor thin, that any foot out of line and you are you're out of it. Alright, so I am going to air assassinate. So anyway, as I was saying, you can read the environment, go to that area. You see it like just the way the environment is made. Showing you right now. I just want to show you that there's really kind of these lines, the way the environment is laid out. It kind of draws your eye in the exact path you need to go. So instead of just like going straight through the water, for instance, and hitting the ship, naturally your mind goes towards the these little details in the environment, these like wooden ruins, this sunken ship, rocks, lead your eye towards a path that is quick and efficient. Now, I'm not using it quick and efficient just because I'm sitting here trying to convey that, but I think you get my point. That this is clever design, the environment that kind of guides you where you need to go, guides you towards a good path. Take this directly up to the top. That's my target. Okay, so I don't want to get too high up because you can't air assassinate from too high up. Can I actually... Oh, I have to deal with this guy now. Can I get up there quickly or no? Yeah, I can do it from here, I think. So I have to keep in mind that I can only run on these double ropes. I can't... The single ropes are not enough. Okay, so he is below me now. Work on air assassinating him. However, I think I'm just too high up to reach him. Whoa! Hey! Aw, man, I really thought I was going to land right on top of that, but apparently not. Apparently that doesn't count. Alright, we're seeing that was a direct example of the platforming weirdness that is evident in this game. Yeah, I think I've seen many times that the platforming, the parkour, just not as strong as it used to be in the other Assassin's Creed games. And I think that's just because of the focus in this game is no longer as much on the platforming as it is on the seafaring stuff. And so those systems in this new game, in this latest game, aren't actually refined to the fullest. And thinking about how you're mostly on these ship areas anyway, these ship environments, there are just not as many opportunities to use the parkour in the first place. When you're on the ships, it's all about seafaring and driving your ship, or navigating your ship. I gotta actually... This, he's gonna be able to see me. Navigating your ship, and there's clearly a less of a focus on the parkour when you're out at sea. When you're on land, of course, that's where the parkour comes back in. Because of this game has a focus on sea and land, actually mostly sea. Just to consider that fact. Alright, now let's not mess this up. I have to keep in mind, I'll go the safe route here. Keep in mind that the parkour is a little wonky in this game. A little unreliable, so I can't just drop down and expect it to connect like I'd want it to. Yeah, I can't really pinpoint exactly what is going on with the parkour, but occasionally we are seeing the examples firsthand. I don't know why it's not detecting. I think it just comes down to the fact that because the game isn't focused as much on the land stuff, it's more on the sea, that there's less opportunities to parkour, and thus there's less of a focus on refining that parkour system to make sure it worked as you'd want it to work. Like, as you'd expect. If Kenway dropped down here, like, he should be able to land on top of this. It's not even that short of a distance. Okay, I should be able to reach him from here, right? Yeah, okay. There we go. Kill is done.
The governor's given us a pardon, Commodore. Don't a man's word mean anything in these times?
Has syphilis clouded your mind? Why scratch and claw to protect such squalor? Your parasites feeding off the industry of honest men.
Much like King George in that respect.
Know your place, peasant! You may have taken my life, but you have not improved your own by any measure.
Does some purpose keep you talking?
If not for that heathen, Governor Rogers, I'd have seen you hanged from your own cross trees. Worm. All of you.
Okay, that was a nice 100% sync, and you know, once again we're seeing a tailing mission interspersed throughout. Like, I want to say more than half of the missions on land, at least, have relied on a tailing mission in some form or fashion as part of the overall, you know, mission chain. Kind of disappointing. It's definitely there's definitely an over reliance on that tailing mission. Just because, if I had to guess why the game uses these tailing missions so often, is because for multiple reasons. One is that it's a convenient way for the game to offer dialogue and reveal some details while also not taking you out of the experience, keeping you in you know, control of your character, interaction during that time. But then there's also a related problem to that where it's difficult to actually pay attention to that dialogue, as I've said many times. I think another thing about the tailing missions is that they're a convenient way to take you from A to B, from one location to another, while keeping you engaged in some form of activity. And I guess they haven't really thought of any other better ways to do that sort of thing. So this way brought you from one area of Nassau to the ship where the Commodore was actually located. You needed to follow that guy in order to find where the ship was. And I guess in this regard, the tailing mission was necessary. I wonder if we examined every single tailing mission like this, if they were, we'd see if they were really necessary in this regard of, you know, taking you from A to B, leading you in this fashion, or whether they were not necessary. Maybe they could have been cut. Maybe there could have been a better way of dealing with a mission type. But I think because of like so many different conveniences in the way that these tailing missions are efficiently doing a lot of stuff at the same time, that's why we're seeing a lot of tailing missions. If I examined it even further, like off stream, not live, and I thought about it even further, I'd probably find even more reasons why the game might rely on tailing missions. So I'm gonna do a like here. I think it would be 5 stars if it wasn't for that tailing mission. I'm getting really tired of them. As I said before, in general, I can appreciate a good tailing mission, but there's definitely an over reliance on them. And as far as this one goes, the tailing mission, as I said, was a little bit better because there was a little bit more challenge there. There's a lot to say about it. I'm just going to say like for now. Alright, continue. Do I have to, like, get out of here? Yeah, I guess so. Use my spoke to... get out of here really quickly. They'll swim over yonder. Cool man of war ship. Alright, so I think I talked enough about that stuff there, regarding tailing missions and all that. If we see another one, I'll continue discussing them, but well, I think we should move on. As far as the assassinations go in this game, you know, one weird thing I've noticed about them, less detail about the environment here, is that there's currently a blockade around Nassau. We can see that blockade actually in the distance here. So it's cool use of this this game's engine that we're seeing actual ships functioning as that blockade around Nassau. Nice little aside there. So, back to the assassinations. The one thing that could have been a little bit clearer in this game are some hard goals as far as your targets, your long-term targets. I think that comes down to Kenway here not being a real assassin, not being a true assassin. He is not. His life is not about those targets. That is not his main objective. So it's over here. Okay, sure. Let's head over there. Compare that to. Let's compare it to the previous game, Assassin's Creed 3, because that's still fresh in my memory. Actually, most Assassin's Creed games, what would happen is you would have a very clear path of assassin targets to go through, and that would essentially tie the whole story together. Be your main path through the narrative, right? That's essentially the outline of the narrative. Are your assassin targets, and like the previous game, Assassin's Creed 3, you could see how that works is in your assassin den, essentially, you would see on a wall plastered all your targets, all your future targets, as portraits, and as you'd assassinate them, your character would X them out. You'd see them X'd out on the wall there. So throughout the game, you can see a very clear representation of your long-term goals. And the lack of that in this game reflects the lack of long-term goals. At least as we've seen so far. Now, I think we're seeing an introduction of some possible long-term goals as far as assassin targets, like perhaps what was his name? Woods Rogers. He was taking over governorship of this town. Yeah, he seems like a potential assassin target, long-term assassin target. But we'll see. We'll see about that. This little twist in the narrative only just started, and have to see how it plays out in the long term. That's just one thing I've noticed. One clear representation of long-term goals that is lacking in this game. If there was something like that, then the whole problem with long-term goals might not even be an issue. Again, like, it is meant to be a departure from the series. It's not meant to be an Assassin's game as much as the other ones were. This is a pirate game involving the assassins, and it's essentially an offshoot of the series, a kind of a spin-off, as you will. So I think the problem is not that it lacks that, but it didn't find a suitable replacement, a suitable pirate-based replacement for that long-term assassin goal trajectory. And instead of finding a replacement, there's essentially nothing. I don't know. Thinking about it more, maybe that's the whole point. Because you're a pirate, they chose to reflect more of a free form, you know, explore the seas to your heart's content, as a pirate would. And don't be trodden down by any long-term goals or plans. Pirates don't plan, they just do things. Maybe there's something to be said about that. But when it comes to a strong narrative, which, you know, this game has made no qualms about not having a narrative, making an interesting experience by not, you know, by going away from the whole narrative structure-based gameplay. No, this game is still trying to have a narrative, but it's ending up having weaker narrative just because it's didn't find a replacement for that sort of long-term goal assassin structure that is departing from. Alright, so now that we're here, let's stop standing around and, you know, more than we have to. I think I've said enough about that. Get right into the next mission.
Are we ready?
Let's get out of Nassau here.
Bloody hell.
You'd raise a cloud here, lout.
You sat on enough gunpowder to blow New Providence off its rocks.
Lay off me, mate. I'm well chafed.
As I was telling, a squad of lobsters has commandeered our galleon. We're gonna have to clear it out before we use them cannons to blow the blockade.
Okay, so we're actually seeing a loading screen here. Wonder what's going to happen that requires a loading screen. We're probably going to go onto some sort of ship. That's why we need a loading to a new environment. Alright, yeah, we're on a ship, right? So use the mortar to sink ships, use barrels to sink a ship. Okay. Escort the Fireship. Okay, so escorting right now.
Every last scrap of duck on the Brits are onto us. Look there.
Alright, so going to need to sink ships with these mortars. Did I get it? I think I'm a little too slow with it. Let me try and get the barrels now. Yeah, okay, got one. On the mortar side objective. Got it, got it. How about this one? Got that one. Nice. Alright, so that's all the optional objectives. Nice, nice. Like that, I like that. Okay, so try and lead the targets this time. That worked. Ram it, I think. Yeah, that worked. That worked out.
We're ready, sir.
Lead this target here. There's one ship there. I think this man of war is like following us, or we're being hunted by this man of war, but thankfully it's fairly slow. Alright, this mission, so far this mission has been pretty good. one of the best in the game. Trying to protect the ship here.
Let's catch some wind, lads.
Tackling a lot of stuff. Why is he going? Alright, the Fireship is meant to blow that one up, right? So I think that's what's happening. Escape the blast radius, right. Let's go there. Nice. So now the way's open. Get going. Destroy these ships. Okay, so being hunted by ships here. This is pretty exciting. Well, this is more like it as far as missions out on sea. This is essentially what I would like to see more of. I wonder why there hasn't been more of this stuff. Probably because it might be a little bit too complicated to develop this stuff, to make these scenarios happen. So we're seeing some of these good missions being a little bit, interspersed throughout the experience.
Prancing about like they took a prize.
I've been thinking about why we're not seeing as many of these, sea-based missions. I think, one of the reasons I can think of is perhaps because this is essentially the first game where they're all in on the whole pirate seafaring gameplay. That this one's definitely a 5-star mission. That they couldn't essentially work in mission types, a variety of mission types, in this, pirate version of the Assassin's Creed game. They couldn't. Ubisoft, the developers of this game, probably couldn't make a huge number of various types of missions, so they didn't want to. Whatever missions they made were really good. They didn't want to blow all those various types right away. They wanted to spread them out and not overuse them. I think that's a good strategy, but the thing is, they're really good, and you really want to see more of them, and you wish. I feel like the game might have been better if it was focused more on these types of missions rather than having so many missions on land, as we've seen, that end up having to rely on the tailing missions a lot of the time. So, I definitely would like to see more stuff like this. We're out in Nassau now. Now that's just speculation on my part. I don't know, what at Ubisoft stands to reason that since this is like the first game that uses the seafaring ship-based, type of experience as the crux of the whole game. It stands to reason that that's why it wouldn't be fully utilized.
About Nassau and Blackbeard flying the coop.
Well, we'll see about Thatch. Vane's off to see him now, and I'm following soon.
This is what's left of your experiment in democracy.
Aye. We do as we please here, and we take our time doing it.
For Christ's sake, Edward. Don't anything but the stink of riches wrinkle your nose.
What's got into you, man?
Reality, mate. Reality. See that you ain't pulled into the drink by this drowning rat.
Aye. I've lived longer than most men who trod this path.
Right, so the plan was to escape Nassau and establish a new place like Nassau in my own hideout here. I don't know, maybe there could have been an opportunity for some more interesting, you know, hideout-based story, if you will, out on, or in this game, like we saw in the homestead, which is like one of my favorite parts of Assassin's Creed 3. The homestead-based stuff, well as the yeah, there were similar homestead storylines in other Assassin's Creed games, Brotherhood, going all the way back to Assassin's Creed 2. We saw that. What is this?
What do you want?
Interact? What is that? Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but maybe this is answering my question about seeing more interesting stuff with the homestead, like we saw in other Assassin's Creed games. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh no, I have no idea what just happened there, but I thought that initiated some sort of mission, because everything looked different. I think that's just because the whole day-night cycle happened. Oh, so, yeah. Never mind what I said. I thought we were in some sort of extra mission or dream sequence, but I guess this is just casual sexism in in Assassin's Creed here. We don't really, like, I'm not even sure what this is. Why this is even here. This is like, if I've learned anything from Feminist Frequency, from Anita Sarkeesian, this is like, women as decoration, essentially. Not even some sort of mission or reward, but, not even some sort of, actual part in the game, but literal decoration for this homestead area. So I'm not very happy about that. This is like doesn't have to be in the game. I don't know why why this is even here. Why these? I guess they're courtesans, and if you interact with them, then I guess some funny business happens, and she lies in bed. Also, the day-night cycle happens. You can put two and two together. But is this all that necessary in the game? Probably not. I don't think it adds anything of worth or meaning to the experience. In fact, it just makes it worse. But okay, well, it's there. What else is here? Get to the fleet from here, that's true. Do I have enough money for this next
Still
thing?
missing a little something.
Yeah, I do. So, one thing I'm wishing that I was just trying to say before I got caught up in that other thing. I wish there was Now that we're back in the homestead, I wish there was more to the homestead. More story. There could have been an entire great side story with great characters involving the homestead, like we saw in Assassin's Creed 3. My favorite part of that game, besides this introduction of the naval stuff in its instance missions, that stuff was great too. But if I had to point to another great element that really stood out in Assassin's Creed 3 was the homestead stuff. Great characters there, great side stories. Got really involved in that and really made me want to pursue those storylines. And it was also something that informed the overall narrative very well. Provided a great contrast to that. It was like creating your own community. Your little microcosm of America, essentially, while you're also participating in the grand experiment of the formation of the United States. Like, there's a whole thing you could say about the homestead there. Anyway, the homestead there is great. So it's really strange to see the shadow of the homestead here, where it is just upgrades. Almost for the sake of upgrades, and I'm not really sure what I'm getting out of this, but I guess we'll see. What's the next upgrade cost? 40,000. There were very clear rewards that you would get from the homestead too, not just in the form of both story and monetary rewards. Unlocked upgrades that way as well. Yeah, there was a lot to say about the homestead. Of Assassin's Creed 3. I guess while I'm here, I'll do the fleet. I haven't done that in a while. I think I've already talked about how the fleet, like the homestead, is also a shadow of what previous Assassin's Creed games have done with it. Instead of focusing on a brotherhood of characters that you can actually bring into the main game proper to help you out, now it's just essentially a revenue stream. Just a set of mini-games you can get extra money on the side. It's not all that interesting to watch, so a little disappointment that otherwise, takes away from the great overall gameplay, the great seafaring stuff. So, yeah. Right now, these missions aren't giving me a whole lot of money, but I'm guessing that as I, unlock more stuff here, I will. These newer stuff will provide more monetary. Alright, so my good Zabra Augusta for speed. One of my man of war ships for damage. With that, repair. Can I repair? And firepower. Yeah, I'm gonna have to send my other man of war for firepower. Oh, this one might work. 72%. It's like the riskiest I've ever done, but if I send my man of war, then I can, yeah, I might as well do that. 100%. Because they have a man of war, that's why. So the way I would improve this is to have, like, you could set it so that it would be 100% success rate or there would be one success rate if you watched the battle and participated in it, and there would be a different lower success rate if you wanted to skip the battle or do a fast version of the battle. So, like, I would take 100%. I would get 100% for participating in it and watching it like I'm doing right now, or I could take, say, 95% for going for like a skipped version, a faster version of it. Of course, I would skip it every single time. I would always take the lower one because once you've seen one of these little minigame things, you don't really need to see it anymore. Alright. Keep on with the ship battles here. The experiment. 32. I'll just repair. I think, yeah, it is taking the damage into account, so... Okay, launch. Well, that's different. I don't think I've seen a ramming maneuver. Maybe I've seen them before, but very rare. Maybe if there was anything more to the experience than, or as far as interactivity than just shooting fire barrels. If there's more to it, I think that would have been a more enjoyable experience. Bam! Down. Huh. Miss. Interesting. Okay. So, pretty well. Just clear this one entirely, so on doing this, Cyber Augusta should clean up here. Yep. Alright, let me just, I think I will clear 2 different routes, then I'll send as many ships as I can on those routes. That one's good. Cape Verde looks like the next best one, so I will clear that one out. Frigate, and Brig. And on my man of war ships. Take a big beating. Guess that's fine, just keep on repairing them. Money isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, 100%. Get that going. So far I haven't seen many fire barrels used. Guess that is the whole point of using the Man of War. They can take a beating, take several shots, and you don't really have to worry about them dying. They are expensive to repair, though. And if they do end up dying, then it really sucks. You have to capture one all over again. And come to think of it, I haven't seen what happens when the enemy is able to actually sink your ship. What is the consequence there? Just because I've been able to achieve 100% success rate, I haven't really had to worry about. Any ships being sunk. Yeah, riveting stuff. I know. But, like if I was playing the game normally without not streaming, I probably would just sit here, clearing out every single route, and then trying to do as many of those missions as possible, just to get an extra revenue stream. But since I am concerned about time here, I want to limit myself. It's not all that important to do this anyway. I'm not really getting that much money out of it. Only the top tier routes are giving me any sort of significant change. So far, the Zabra Augusta has been a really great find. 70 speed, really great. Fastest ship in my fleet. Okay, safe. So, start setting ships out. 3,000. Alright. Need a 40 cargo ship for that. Alright, I can send... as long as I repair. Oh, I need one of my big ships for this one. Finally, this 150. Also, yeah, I'll have to send one of those. And send back to this one, which I just cleared. Yes, clearing all that, and I only just got one out of it. Probably not worth it. Either one, doesn't matter. Okay, so, just end it here. Head on to the next mission. You know, the courtesans, coming back to this, the courtesans themselves were fairly disappointing part of Assassin's Creed, because they also fit the whole women as decoration thing, as well as other tropes that really don't have to be in the game, and they're just there to appeal to straight white guys, or straight, or at the very least, just straight guys. Or I think they're here because got that brothel earlier, so now they're all over the island. I guess something to be said about that. Essentially, getting the brothel in our homestead means now we have more decoration. A women as decoration trope in this hideout area. Didn't see anything like that in Assassin's Creed 3, by the way. Comparing it back to that, the homestead there had such rich characters that there was no need to have any of this stuff there. I was actually looking for that. I guess I can just jump from here, right? Matter. There's nothing else to do on this island, right? You just do like a quick once-over. Wait, I'm in water, right? So why did I desynchronize when I went in water? Oh, the mysteries of Assassin's Creed 3. So I want to just check out the area and see if there's any new things to access or unlock. Not sure. I don't expect anything. I spent all my money on the upgrade there. I think that I don't think I'll be able to upgrade anything else. Do a quick look around here. No, I don't think there's anything left to do. There's just the only upgrades left are in my main manor there. Okay, so start the next mission. Or I'm not sure if the mission will just start right away here, or I'll have to go to a different location. And that was just the first step. Yeah, it was just the first step. Okay. Hopefully it's not too far away. Where is it? Okay. That is actually fairly far away. And doesn't seem to be much else to do here. Kinda hoping for a mission that would take me down here to get this random chest out of the way. Well, I think I might as well do that now. I'm not sure if there's gonna be any other opportunities to get this chest. Finish up the overworld. Based on the time, I think I should. We'll see if I'm good. I'm not sure. Hunter ship's right there already. Wow, pretty fast. Level 11? Yeah, not really worried about him. Might as well deal with him now. Alright, come on, come on, come on. This guy has beef with me for? I don't know. A little ship there. Alright, so almost desynchronized me there, but finish them off. Let's get this right done right here. There we go, that was nice, quick, and efficient. I'm gonna have to repair my ship now, actually. Did end up underestimating those guys, but I still won. Should be able to get the full loot out of these guys. Repair. These ships aren't really great for claiming anyway. Claiming to your fleet.
Get the mainsails into the wind! Reed! Short north sail! Loose main sail! Get them aloft! Down sword sail! Incoming fire! On the men! Full damage! Loose and trim too!
Okay. Deal with this stuff here. Alright, I should be able to repair this one. Or repair using this one. Small ship, really worth. Nice to get back into the swing of ship combat in the overworld here. However, if I'm not careful, I will end up just doing too much of it. Not. So one of the things I would have liked to see is what the stats of the ship are before I send it to my fleet. Like, I want to know if it's even worth sending them to my fleet. If it has any particularly good stat that I want. But I think just repair for now. And there's one. Apparently, I just aggroed this ship just because it ended up being in my grill. But might as well do it. Might as well finish this guy off.
Awaiting orders, sir.
Let's see, level 23. Probably going to be decent as far as capturing.
Loose all, let's move. Come on, you slugs, man those ships. Press for embarking hooks away.
Alright, I have a good game plan here. This one will probably end up raising my wand level to 4. Then I can use the next ship to raise or lower my wanted level back down to 3. Okay. Ah, not quick enough for my draw. Too far away. There we go. That's better. I think I'm just gonna do some miscellaneous stuff. I don't know if I'll have time to actually make it to the assign to my fleet. This one, will this send me up to 4? I think it will. No, I'm not at 4.
Unfold, mates, let's move.
Interesting. Not at 4. Okay, so one final ship here. Yeah, this is easy to get bogged down and really, well, maybe bogged down is not the right word, because bogged down denotes a, or bogged down has negative connotations to it. Like you don't want to be held up by this stuff, but the ship combat is interesting enough to where you can really get in the habit of dealing with that stuff. So because you're so busy enjoying it. Alright, so I need to get a good angle on this. Fairly tall ship, so there we go, that's a good angle. Oh, wait a second. I wanted to try and go on that rope, but still, anything else? Alright, that's the last of them. The ship combat also gives me a good time to take a break as far as commentary, just because I'm so focused on taking down the ship itself. I can't be reasonably expected to keep up commentary unless I'm like in the middle of talking about something. Not quite ready to lower my wanted level yet, just send it to my fleet.
A fine addition to the
so I can sell some rum, right? Be sure I can. Alright, so rum and sugar are just stuff sell. Not much of it anyway. I can probably 10,000. That's probably get something out of that. I think. Swivel strength. If that's the only one I can do, I might as well do it. Almost all the stuff is maxed out now. The only thing left, broadside cannons. So worth doing, hull armor. But this other stuff I could probably requires elite round shot. Plans for them rather, and it probably can be found. My guess is that these plans for these things are probably going to be found in the buried treasure. So, at some point I'm going to need to focus on looking for that stuff. Alright, my swivel strength is better now. Got something out of that.
Captain Abraham. Head out some sail! Crowd on every inch of sail! Stunsails!
I think I'm just going to start winding down the stream. Play a little bit longer, I'm not sure. Again, as I'm saying, not sure if I can make it to the next mission. It seems fairly far away. I wonder if this will allow me to have a free boarding, or if it won't count. If it'll be able to board it for free, or... No, I can't board it. Can I get any loot from it? No? Yes? No? No. Yeah, I wish you could just get some free loot out of those ships that go down from just ambient environment stuff. Ship battles. If they get caught in ship battles and you can reach them when they're in their boardable state, it'd be nice to get some freebies in that regard, but I think developers took a hard stance and said, nah, you can't have any freebies. You combat on your own, you gotta earn it. And there's something to be said about that. It's okay for them to set that. I like being able to earn your loot through proper combat, no freebies. The downside of that is that if you're in the middle of combat and then you're in the middle of combat with a ship and then like another enemy ship or fortress, we've seen one example of this before, can finish off a ship that you're in the middle of combat with and then just essentially take away your loot. Just because they end up dealing the finishing blow, which is really unfortunate. Thankfully that doesn't happen all that often anyway. Not a big deal, I think. Okay, so just wanted to get that one thing because I don't think there's anything else, any other opportunity for me to do that. One thing I said I wanted to get were some more of these harpooning missions, just because haven't really been on top of those, and some of my upgrades are related to getting those skins, whatnot. I need to do more harpooning and hunting so I can get some of those. Upgrades. I don't think I will actively pursue combat, just I'll let the what are they called? The hunter ships come to me. Convenient way of continually having a flow of resources is keeping your water level high and having the hunter ships come to you. You get to combat with them, and then you get all their resources. Plus, the hunter ships, I've noticed, they themselves don't raise your water level, so you can continually take them down without raising your water level. At least I believe that's how it works. Which way do I want to go? Left of it, I guess. Left of this island. So I'll let these guys catch up on their own, if they can even manage to catch up. It's like they're having difficulty managing the journey there. Now I'll say it's okay to let things be a little quiet. Don't need to keep up my commentary 100% of the time if there's like really nothing to comment about at the present moment. Looks like I actually lost the hunter ships that are coming after me. Didn't know that was possible, but it seems like they couldn't navigate the environment there, so I effectively shook them off. There'll be other ones coming towards me anyway. As far as the nature of my commentary, I think it's okay to have quieter moments like this, because the whole point is for it to be a first-hand impression of what I'm seeing at the moment. I think it gets a little disingenuous when I try to comment on other parts of the game, like pull in from earlier parts. I think it's fine to bring in examples of later portions of the game to further discuss what you're seeing at the moment, but I think the whole point is that I'm commenting on what I'm seeing at any given time. And if if in the game are currently quiet, then, you know, my commentary doesn't need, or my commentary can reflect that and be quiet. should be able to get to that harpooning area fairly quickly anyway. One thing I'm curious about now that I am thinking about it is, again, we're seeing more missions in this northern portion of the map, and I'm wondering why we're not being taken down to the lower portions, the southern areas yet. I would think that the game would at least have taken me a circuit around the whole map by now. It seems like it is saving those southern portions of the map. I can show them right now for later on. This corner here particularly. They are designated as hard areas. Could be why. But like there seems to be an abnormal focus, or a disproportional focus of missions in this particular area, particularly the quadrant around Nassau. Like there have been so many missions around here, and like barely any missions in the rest of the map. Like if the game was truly trying to incentivize you to explore, then I think it would have spread out missions all over the map, and not just have so many concentrated around one area. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the game could have stood a few rewrites. Have the story try and get you to take you around the whole world, and not just have. They'll try to avoid having so many missions concentrated around one area. Especially try to avoid taking you back multiple times to the same area, especially, yeah. Gonna be exploring like I am now, not doing fast travel. The way I've been exploring the world as a result of exploring the main missions has been kind of wonky, weird. Treading a lot of familiar ground, not seeing a lot of new stuff. Alright, so let's get this harpooning. With that in mind, I'm hoping that
Let's get started.
That the story will take me to the newer areas sooner rather than later.
He's burning the sea red! Good hit, Captain! The beast is hurt!
He snapped the rope! Anyone hear that?
Find him all over again.
Headed
There he
at
is.
us! Larboard bow!
Oh, I should have been preparing
Yes, he's done
preparing
well.
my
Here we
harpoon.
go! He's a monster!
A fine haul today, sir.
Okay, the next one is fairly close. Bull shark. I can see right now in the menu what I can craft out of that. Let's see. Back whale skin, great white shark bone, hammerhead shark bone if I need one more. So I can get pistol ammo pouch 2. I get one more hammerhead shark. Bull sharks and berserk darts. Dart drives targets berserk for 20 additional seconds. Yeah, that's probably worth doing actually, because the berserk darts are one of my favorite new additions to the combat specifically. So I've been really missing out by not focusing on this crafting specifically. I should... And not focusing on the crafting has been a result of not focusing on doing the hunting and the harpooning. So maybe I should keep that in mind. What else is there? Oh, okay. So, oh, it's just an outfit. I could craft this, yeah. Okay, so trying to make sure I do more of these harpooning. I can get this crafting done. Maybe that's one thing I can discuss is why. I'm trying to think about why I have not been focusing on the hunting. Perhaps one is just on moral reasons. I don't like hunting animals. I think it is kind of brutish and avoidable, essentially. Like, not even all that related to Kenway's overall goals. I mean, you could say that, oh, you're fine with killing people because you're a pirate or an assassin, but you're not fine with killing animals. I guess the difference there is that Kenway has a specific motivation to end up killing people as part of his plans, while with hunting and with harpooning, like as we're seeing now, I have to specifically go out of my way to do that stuff. So this essentially explains why I'm not. Before I do this stuff, it looks like there's a lot of stuff on this map here. I wonder what happened here. Why there's so much crap and loot. Kind of strange. Turn around and get this other stuff.
Give me some speed! Pump! Gallons! Royals! Start!
But I guess as far as making upgrades and whatnot, there's a sort of game-based motivation, a player-based motivation, but not necessarily a character-based motivation to do this, to do the hunting. So explains why. I guess that explains why I have not been doing that stuff. Maybe if there was an established character-based motivation for doing the harpooning and/or the hunting,
Secure the rope!
maybe I would pursue them more often, despite the moral ambiguity surrounding them.
That beast is hurt!
I'm totally fine with doing amoral acts in this game if there is enough justification to do that stuff by the game, if there's enough motivation for me to do them. But if I have to go out of my way to pursue that stuff, then the moral high ground, the ethical dilemmas are going to win over, essentially. Okay. Yet, maybe I'll head over this hammerhead shark on my way there. I probably can't do both too far out of the way, but hammerhead shark is the closest one. Aha, okay. Frigate. And brig. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to fight these guys. So, fight them in an isolated area away from other dudes. Thankfully I have enough mortars. I can keep mortaring them. Make short work of this level 38 ship here.
Steady, lads!
Can I get that? Nice, okay. The tougher ship has been dealt with. Fire barrel the ship. Okay, that's a good way to efficiently deal with these guys. Unlike the last set of hunter ships that went after me, this one I went specific plan. I didn't get destroyed. So the other one is definitely better. I think I'll take that one for my fleet, and I'll use this one to repair. Okay. Any people down here I can take down? Nice. Quick and efficient. Essentially the way I want to do every single battle. A nice iconic shot. Moon in the background there. Okay. Right. Use this one to repair, and the other one sent to my fleet. The other one looks pretty powerful. Yeah, compare them to the ambient ships in this area. Level 4. This is why you want to have...
Fresh fleet there if you can strike it, sir.
Yeah, I'll do that one later. This is why I want to have a wanted level, because the good ships essentially come to me no matter where I am in the map. That's another positive to having a wanted level. No shortage of good ships to take down. What can it? There we go. Nice, 2 and 1. Get a running start, or can I, There we go. Can't forget that in a large crowd, smoke bombs really help deal with them. Okay, looks like the bull shark actually
Get the mainsails into the wind.
respawned here, so I can get a second shot at that. But I know there's an upgrade with 2 bull sharks, so yeah, I'll do it.
And last, the harpoons.
So the more bull sharks, or the more harpooning things I do or get out of the way, the more upgrades I get out of the way, the less I'll have to do the harpooning. And the less I'll feel bad about doing this stuff.
Secure the rope. He's off. Ha! Yes.
Okay.
He's a monster.
Should have a good upgrade. No more bull sharks to do.
Well done, Captain.
Dirk Dart 1. Yeah, that's actually a really good one. Additional 20 seconds of Berserk. Definitely want to get that upgrade done. Oh, wrong one actually. Do I even have to do it? Right, just do it from the main menu, right? Crafting. Indeed. So that's the one I can do now. 20 additional seconds. Really nice. Ancient monkey. I'll have to go get some stuff on land. I have to keep that in mind. Get pistol ammo. 10 additional bullets. Not bad, not bad. Not totally essential, but it is, might as well get it.
Captain has the helm. Head out some sail. As much sail as you can.
Fairly far away, but essentially comes down to we're heading down familiar path. Gain money high. Maybe I shouldn't go after this convoy. It is kind of on the way. Let me see if I can go after the convoy. Never really taken down a convoy, so should be able to deal with it now, no problem. It's gonna end up raising my wanted level to 4. That might be an issue. But it is a convoy, of course. There'll be plenty of ships to lower my wanted level. Alright, let's see what gain money high means. Oh good, changed the wind. Thankfully. Okay, so huh, okay. That is apparently what's the... Apparently what the... what is it? Convoys are all about. I think it tells me exactly what... yeah, 2,000.
Starboard, Captain. Convoy. Rich picking, sir.
Only because it's on the way.
Awaiting orders. Cannon ready. Shot right through there. Ready before you, sir. Where's the console? Got it. Set down, Lusso. Let's move. Come on, this truck. Man those seats. Ready before you, sir. He's the man, muzzle the gallants. Hold tight, here they come. Off the water will bring
Okay, so wants to use fire barrels on this one. Sure. This one too. Getting all up my grill.
Ready to fire, boys! We're ready, sir! Fire! Interference, you beat! We're holding!
keep the pressure on. We'll be able to deal with these guys, no problem.
Oh, come on! Hit the fire! Ready to fire, sir! Fire! Look, Captain! Put a shot fire! Ready to fire, sir! Fire! Take a shot! Right there, sir! Fire! Careful, Captain!
Okay, let's board this guy. I'm pretty sure I can send both of these to my fleet. I can use some of those smaller ships too. Repairing. So I'm gonna get a ton of loot here. So many ships to board. Don't need to repair. Send this one to the fleet. I'll use smaller ships to do other stuff. Let's see. Alright, what else do we have here? A lot of ships just waiting for me to take food. Okay, so one ship for repair and one ship for lowering my wanted level back down to 3. Although I probably can deal with 4 by now. Maybe experiment with that later. Destroy enemy ship's flag. Alright, come on, Conway. Dang it. This shot. Flag is up here. A long way down to get back to combat range. Alright, so second half of this this part in my playthrough focused a lot on just a lot of combat, a lot of seafaring stuff, harpooning. Front-loaded the missions in this part. I think that's fine. Shows a good balance of what we do in general in the game.
Get the main street! Close down, Gallon!
I hate it when it's one part just all seafaring, just all ship-based stuff, and can't get to any missions. At least we get a good balance of different stuff. But by now, the thing about the commentary is, or the thing about the ship-based stuff is that the commentary will go down a lot. Just because A, I have fewer things to comment on with the ship combat, seafaring, and B, I have really focused on the battle itself. Go back down to 3 here.
Willie, son! We now have the materials required to make the ship stronger, sir. Loose and catch the wind. As much sail as you can. Now you're ready. The wind. Rolls is one.
Okay, so this is still on the way, so I might as well head there. One thing I haven't really touched upon is just how in games where there's a lot of sailing, like for instance Wind Waker, and there were a couple other games that I played that had sailing, there's a calming element to just being out in the open sea and not even doing anything, like not even worrying about combat, just traveling, appreciating the world around you. I think there's a rich world in here, a rich system, or rich world full of systems that interact with each other. Like you can see ambient AI battling, so there's a lot to appreciate just passively in this game. I haven't really touched upon just because I am so focused on maintaining a stream and maintaining action, commentary at all times, that sometimes I can't just sit back and appreciate sailing for what it is in ways that I, appreciated sailing in the past. A lot of people complain about the sailing in Wind Waker, for instance. It just takes too long to travel between islands in that game where you need to go. I don't know, I really like that. I really like the quiet moments as much as I like the action in the story. Like, I think the quiet moments are necessary part of appreciating the hole.
Nice one! He's loose, Captain! Where is it?
Okay, this time I will get this one prepared.
Look
Aha.
out! Forward!
Oh no.
Hang tight, everyone! This one's dangerous.
Where are you?
There he is! Starboard bow!
Oh man.
Finish him off, sir!
Okay, so I should be able to get an upgrade now. More bullets.
A fine haul today, sir.
You know, it seems like kind of a waste that we're getting. Crafting is unavailable at this time. Do I have to release the wheel? I think so. Seems like a waste that for an entire hammerhead shark, all we're getting is a little pouch. Kind of makes me feel bad for pursuing these upgrades. Alright, so where was it? Right here. Crafting is unavailable. Why is it unavailable? Do I have to go in here? Okay, I don't know why the crafting is unavailable right now, but I guess I'll do it later on when it is available. I'm not sure why. What's going on? Pretty close to the mission now. I think there's been enough time at sea to just head straight for that mission. Unless some hunter ships decide to come after me, then I'll take those guys down. Actually, probably get ready to wind down the stream here. So I'm not sure how long the mission will take. Maybe it's better. I'll be better off heading there and then leaving that as the first thing to do on the next part. Probably that for the best that I do that. There isn't that legendary ship around here somewhere. Oh, it's like way out in the distance. One of these days I'll have to see what those things are about. Okay, got a level 25 brig. And I think I might as well take that one down before the other one reaches me, right? So alright, next one, this one. This one's doing a fair amount of damage to me. Careful.
We're ready, sir! Fire! Fire! We're ready, sir! Blew up! Blew up! Our cannon! Get on the bridge! Give me some speed! There's great!
Man, this guy's just unloading. What was ahead of me? Oh. So I couldn't turn in time.
We're all but kindling, Captain! You cannot take much more, Captain!
Looks like I'm just going to have to repair. Quickly dispatch this one. Okay, so plan is to repair. I'll deal with these missions here, and then I think I will call it a quits and leave the mission as the first thing for the next part. Best way to handle this, because I don't think I'll be able to actually do the whole mission in the time remaining. All that, I only got 2 crew. There we go. Can't forget the almighty smoke bomb really helping me out. Okay, so turn over this way.
Loose and trim to! Get them aloft! Douse all sail! Douse all sail! Get the mainsail! Get to the wind! Aloft, lads!
Okay, so I think right now is a good time to end the stream. This mission will be done first thing next part. If you like what you're seeing and you want to watch all the archives until this point, you can go over to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/YamsterSam. You can watch all of them there. And you can also follow me here on Twitch if you want to continue to watch me live, or if you watch the archives on YouTube and you want to find my Twitch, that is twitch.tv/YamsterSam. You can also follow me on Twitter @YamsterSam. All good ways to know what I'm up to, when I'm going to stream next, and watch my commentary. So with that in mind, I'm going to say I'll call it end to the stream here, call it end to the part, and see you next time. Later.